Hello and welcome to the Audio Epics podcast. I'm Domien.
Hi, I'm Eline.
And this week we've got something different, something new.
Yeah, because we're all in lockdown or of some sort, we figured we could spend an episode on quarantine questions.
Yeah, so basically what it is we've both made a list of 20 questions about, movies, books, games, TV shows for each other. So we're going to ask each other questions and, maybe learn a bit about each other's...
Or not.
Yeah, or not. We know each other pretty well, being married and all. Especially now that we've been in the same small place for weeks now. We know each other really well. Okay. And yeah, our youngest Liam is with us and he wants to join in the conversation. He's wearing his Batman pajamas. Okay, I'll start with the first question. And my first question is for you, Eline.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite female villain?
I guess that would be Maleficent.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good one. The original from the cartoon or from the movie?
From the movie Maleficent. Since she's a very round character, very interesting villain who is first an innocent girl, even though she has a very malicious name and horns on her head.
Horns, yeah.
And but she's innocent to start with, and then she turns totally evil. But then it turns out she still does have a heart, and
Okay. Okay, your turn.
Okay. Your favorite movie of all time if you cannot answer Return of the King?
Okay. If I cannot answer Return of the King, it's going to be one of the other Lord of the Rings movies.
You cannot answer with a Lord of the Rings movie because that would be too obvious.
Well, there are a bunch of movies I really love. I might say Braveheart.
Braveheart. Okay, that's a surprise.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it has a great
It surprises me too, but
story. So
I mean, that movie does something special to me.
And especially during times when we don't have freedom.
Yeah, especially those times. Okay, question for you: who would win in a fight between a team of 5 Batmans versus one Darth Vader?
I would cheer for the 5 Batmans, actually, yeah.
You would cheer them up, but do you think they would win?
Yeah, I think so.
Why?
Because technology.
Darth Vader has technology? No.
Because bats.
Okay, yeah, bats, yeah.
Times 5.
Bats times 5, yeah, that's a lot of bats.
Yeah, and I don't know, Darth Vader, he looks pretty scary, but...
He's got the Force.
Yeah, he does, but the wrong side of it.
Yeah, I guess.
Plus, he's just a big hump of meat underneath.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I would go for the 5 Batmans.
5 Batmans. Okay. Or Batman. No, I'm gonna say Batmans.
Batman.
Bat people.
Bat people.
Bat persons.
Yeah. Bat human beings.
Okay. Your turn.
What's your favorite story score composer? So, from a game, a movie, or an audio drama?
I'm going to say Peter van Riet and Dane Leonardson are the 2 greatest composers of all time.
Good answer. I hope they're listening.
No. I'll make them.
And if you cannot pick buddies, what would you
If I cannot pick buddies, I guess for movies, I'm gonna have to say John Williams still. It's cliche, I know, but he's led the groundwork for basically what film scores have become over the decades.
I can see that.
And his music is so rich, as there's just so much in it. Just listen to, the Star Wars scores. he's made so many memorable melodies and themes. It's incredible. I love James Horner too, and I love Jeremy Soule. His music, his video game music is fantastic. And I got a soft spot for Jerry Goldsmith also. He's kind of I think he's almost forgotten. I mean, he used to be quite well known and popular.
Is that from the Legend art?
Yeah. So the movie Legend. Well, it's an interesting thing about that movie, Legend, from 1985. It has two different soundtracks. One is by a sort of 80s pop band. I've never even heard that soundtrack, because the version we have in Europe, because they made separate versions of the movie, has music by Jerry Goldsmith. And that score, which, you won't hear in the American version, is actually one of my favorite scores. I think it's super original. Okay, my next question is maybe a stupid one.
No stupid questions.
No?
Only stupid answers.
Okay.
Which I'm probably gonna give.
So, I was trying to be original. If archaeologists discover remnants of our civilization 1,000 years from now, and they find one playable DVD disc, so they can watch one movie, which one should it be?
It can only be one disc, right?
Yes.
So, no Lord of the Rings extended edition.
Theatrical editions are possible.
Well, only from one movie. That's 1/3 of the trilogy.
True.
We cannot do that. Then I think I would pick a movie that kind of mirrors our society best, which is dystopian and disgusting. So I think maybe we could pick a Roland Emmerich movie, or The Island by Michael Bay, perhaps. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that one, because if I pick The Giver, The Giver is an interesting movie, but the problem with that is that it's not a very good adaptation. The book is
much better, yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually 4 books.
Right. Okay, your turn.
I'm gonna ask you for the most remarkable soundtrack of all time in terms of weird or original. Since if I ask you about your favorite one, it's just gonna be the complete recordings of the Lord of the Rings, which is the obvious answer. So yeah, what would you say to that?
In terms of original,
the most remarkable soundtrack you've ever heard.
That's an interesting question.
Something you've never.
I thought what Hans Zimmer did with Interstellar was very interesting, with the organ.
Yeah.
That was different.
Yeah, exactly.
Unique.
Right.
Especially for him.
True.
It's different from what he usually does. So that's certainly on the list. And again, I know... yes, Liam agrees. I've already mentioned it just now, but Legend, the soundtrack for the movie Legend by Jerry Goldsmith, is actually one that I would...
that is remarkable.
Yeah, because it's full of these weird sounds. It's an orchestral symphonic score, but there are these weird, mysterious sounds.
That's what you mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll use a clip because... But it's very original.
Don't use clips or we'll get demonetized.
All right,
again.
okay. So look it up, people. But it's you should listen to just the first track of the Legend score by Jerry Goldsmith. Yeah. It creates a lot of atmosphere, a sort of dark fairy tale atmosphere in a very unique way.
Yeah, like that. That would be my answer to Interstellar. But I was thinking about the Fountain soundtrack too.
Oh right, yeah,
that's a really weird,
different,
but very interesting soundtrack as well.
Who or what is your favorite non-talking character?
Yeah, when does a character not speak?
Yeah, not anything that you can understand.
Does R2-D2 count?
Yeah, R2-D2 counts.
Because yes,
you can say R2-D2.
Some can.
No, don't think too hard about it. I mean, A character that doesn't speak a language that you can understand.
Or Wally. I'm gonna go with the robot characters. Oh, the baby in A Series of Unfortunate Events, the series by Netflix.
Right.
Sunny.
Right, yeah, the baby with the sharp teeth.
Yeah, that was a cool character too. I kind of liked her. Yeah, I'm gonna go with R2-D2 if I have to pick one.
Okay, your turn. By the way, we're drinking tea, as we usually are, during these episodes. And what tea are we having?
I don't know, you picked it.
It's black chai.
Oh, nice.
And it's yogi tea, so it comes with these little nuggets of great wisdom on the labels.
Great. Can I say mine?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the best advice you'll ever get this week. Let us be kind and compassionate to remove the sadness of the world.
Wow, I'd never thought of that.
Deep.
I never thought of that. That was an option, being kind and compassionate.
Apparently.
Well, my bit of wisdom is communicate sacredness, build it, share it, and spread it.
Is there a YouTube video on building sacredness? Because Liam says there is. Okay.
There probably is. Yeah. He wants to join in the conversation.
Imagine you're on a desert island. And
Okay.
there's this palm tree that provides electricity.
Okay.
And there's an Xbox plugged in.
Okay.
And you can have one video game there to play for the rest of your life because it's jammed and you can only insert one and it never opens.
So basically the question is, if you can only play one video game, which one would it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would go with Skyrim because you can keep on playing that forever.
Right answer. There is an objective answer to this question.
Although I'm also tempted to say Oblivion, which is, the one that came before Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 4, because I just really love the cozy, warm atmosphere of that setting, Cyrodiil. The music, it's so pastoral, it's so, I don't know, it's just lovely.
Right. Or Fallout 4 would be a close second for me.
No, not for me.
And
No nuclear wastelands.
And Myst too, but that's probably nostalgia speaking. I haven't played it for years, so I wonder what I would think.
Well, the thing about
now.
Myst is, once you finish it, that's it, And if you're on a desert island forever, I'd pick something that you can keep on playing.
Unless you have a very bad memory.
Because I really love Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, but I know you can replay it, but with these Elder Scrolls games, you can just keep on going and going. Who is your least favorite actress?
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. Do you think she's a bad actress?
No, I think she's a good actress. It's just, I don't know why, but I don't like to see her act.
But you just don't like her presence on screen.
Yeah. What's your favorite quote from a story? Can be a game, movie, book.
There's this moment in Lord of the Rings: Return of the King when the men of Rohan are hopeless, and they say the numbers of the orcs are too great. We cannot defeat them in battle. We can never defeat them. Something like that. Mm-hmm. And then Theoden says, "No, we cannot, but we will meet them in battle nonetheless."
Yeah, there's dozens of quotes.
I know. It's just Lord of the Rings trilogy is just so full of these strong, uplifting, hopeful quotes, and that's just one of many that I found very.
Say, if you had to pick a funny one, what would it be?
A funny one. Okay, well, I used to watch the show Futurama, from the guy who did The Simpsons. And the first few seasons, at least, they were very funny. I really liked them back in the day. I don't know. I know they made new ones. I got the impression that the newer ones were not as good. But there's a moment in Futurama, there's an episode where Leela, who is the girl with one eye, she feels a bit sad about, she's only got one eye and she looks weird and it makes her feel insecure. And at the end of the episode, she sort of comes to terms with it and she says, well, I guess there's nothing wrong with being a little weird. And then her friend Fry, who is the main character in the series, he looks at her and he says, Leela, there's nothing wrong with anything. And I thought that was hilarious because it's so, I don't know,
because that's actually what's wrong with everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's that mentality, but it sounds like you're being wise, but you're actually being unbelievably stupid. So, okay, your favorite quotes?
I think it would be twice the pride, double the fall.
Aha, Count Dooku.
And a funny one, I think there's a lot of funny quotes, especially from the movies I think are funniest, which we have talked about in a previous episode. For example, in music and lyrics, there's a number of great quotes from Hugh Grant, like, I have great insight. I'd use it on myself, only I don't have any problems.
Okay, so my last question was, who was your least favorite actress? So my new question is, pick one movie with said actress, so Julia Roberts, and replace her.
Well, I have, of course, seen a couple of movies with Julia Roberts, like Erin Brockovich and Notting Hill. I think I would pick Notting Hill then.
Oh, okay. And who would you pick to play the Julia Roberts part?
Well, since it's with Hugh Grant, I would pick Sandra Bullock because I think she has great chemistry with Hugh Grant.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And she's also very cute. She has this kind of modesty about her, this cute, naive schoolgirl-like quality that she has in Speed and The Lake House and While You Were Sleeping and all these
okay.
movies. So I would pick Sandy B.
Sandy B. Okay.
What's the movie that you've watched most often?
It's probably going to be a movie from my childhood because that's when you watch and rewatch movies the most, I think, especially back when we were young and you didn't have that much choice. So it's probably going to be The Secret of Nim or The Neverending Story. One of those movies, probably ones I watched most. How about you?
Well, I would guess Home Alone.
Right, yeah.
The first one.
You watch it at least once a year, so yeah.
Yeah, if it weren't The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, that's another...
That's certainly the movie that I watched the most in theaters. I think I went to see it 8 times. Okay, is there a scene from a movie that you really like, but you don't like that scene, you would delete that scene?
That's a tough one. I think it's usually the other way around, that I'm missing something and would like to insert a scene. But when it comes to scenes that are redundant, I usually agree with deleted scenes. For example, you have the Avatar extended edition, and you have the extended edition from The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, from the Chronicles of Narnia movie. And both of them, I don't think they really add something to the original theater version. The only extended edition I would absolutely prefer above the theatrical version is The Lord of the Rings, of course. But when it comes to, for example, in Avatar, they actually recycled the music. They had already the original movie. And
that bothered me too.
I loved the score, but the fact that you only get the cool battle music when the actual battle starts, that really works. And in the extended edition, they already used that music a little bit earlier on because they had extra scenes in it, and it kind of destroyed the entire experience of watching the movie.
I agree.
And the same with the Chronicles of Narnia. The music is recycled there as well. There's no real...
In the extended cut.
Yeah, in the extended cut. And the train scene is much longer.
Oh.
But
I've never seen the extended cut.
No, I don't think it's really worthwhile. I thought the theatrical version was actually better than the extended one.
I felt that way about Avatar too.
But that doesn't really answer your question, right?
No, it's fine. It's a good answer.
I cannot.
You know what? Give me one that you would insert then, that you miss.
Oh, people are gonna say I'm crazy now. I would have added another scene to the Hobbit trilogy because what I was missing was with the entire build-up of Thrain. What happened to Thrain? It would have been nice if if
Thorin got some closure.
If that would have had some closure, yeah.
Yes, I agree. And actually, I would add even more to The Hobbit. Me personally, I think I would have wanted to see Bard become king of Dale.
I wasn't really missing it, but yeah, that would have been a nice addition.
Okay, your turn.
What's your favorite sick movie? So the movie that you usually watch when you're ill and you are feverish and lying on the couch and you cannot really think clearly, but you want to watch something.
You know what? If you had asked me this a while ago, I probably wouldn't have known what to say. But we watched Demolition Man a few days ago, a movie with Sylvester Stallone and Sandy B.
Wasn't the first time, right?
No, we've seen it before, but seeing it again now made me realize that I think that movie is just really fun. It's straightforward, it's simple, I don't know, there's something... it's bizarre because it's this futuristic action movie, but somehow there's something, I don't know, kind of cozy about it in a way.
Yeah.
And it would be an ideal movie to watch when you're ill, I think.
Oh, great.
It puts a smile on my face somehow.
Yeah, that's the thing you want with a sick movie, right? It has to be funny and entertaining and not too heavy or too complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
Plot-wise. I would probably pick It Takes Two. It's a kind of tradition. It's a movie with the Olsen twins when they were still innocent and young, and it has a romantic plot and it's kind of funny. And I tend to rewatch it, especially when I'm ill.
It's probably nostalgic for you too.
Yeah, I guess so, because I've watched several other movies with the Olsen twins afterwards, and they were all awful. They were these tourist promotion clips.
Right.
But then insert heroic problem solving with the Olsen twins, and it's all these movies are the same. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, sounds boring.
But there are some nice there's some nice footage of all these places. So if you want something in the background with lots of places you haven't been before,
right?
Like, I think Holiday in the Sun is in the Bahamas or something.
But YouTube is full of relaxing videos about beaches and things like that.
But then high quality.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of novel would you like to read that, as far as you know, still doesn't exist? And you can't say a mermaid werewolf romance.
I was gonna say that. No, I was actually gonna say a war novel with talking bananas, but...
I like the idea.
No, I think I wouldn't pick something I would want to read because I'm all set. I don't feel like there's something I'm missing. But I do think the world needs epic fantasy for children. Like with this, with these characters with different races and different languages, but then simple, like in the comics.
Right. Okay.
An introduction to epic fantasy for children.
An introduction to epic fantasy, right?
Something like that.
Okay, so sort of, sort of simplified version of Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, epic fantasy for dummies.
Okay, interesting. I think I would say, this may sound weird, but I'm going to say a more traditional epic fantasy that also has the level of intrigue and world building and depth, well thought out magic systems that you get with Brandon Sanderson, etc.
So Brandon Sanderson meets Tolkien.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. That's exactly it. Because these days, in fantasy books, there's been a sort of a move away, I think, from the more D&D type sort of fantasy. They don't want elves and dwarves anymore. They don't want medieval settings anymore. It has to be, with a hard magic system that's almost like a science-based sort of magic. And I get a bit tired of that. I long for the good old days of Dragonlance and Raymond Feist and.
My turn again?
Yeah.
Name a movie that made you cry, or at least almost. Because actually, I don't think I've ever seen you cry during a movie.
I don't know if I actually cry during movies, but
do you actually cry?
When I'm slicing onions. Now, I'm gonna say The Passion of the Christ, sort of one of the ultimate emotional experiences.
That's a tearjerker. And the last Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King.
Yeah.
That's actually a sub movie.
Yeah. Other movies.
Home Alone.
Home Alone gets me every time.
It is touching.
Yeah, especially the music. Special people, happy faces.
Yeah, that's the corniest song ever, but it's charming.
It's by John Williams, of all people. Okay, which video game would you turn into a movie?
I guess that's simple. You pick one of these BioWare video games, you just cut out all the gameplay, and you
have a movie.
Yeah, you attach all the clips, and you have a movie, basically.
Well, there are videos like that on YouTube.
It will be a very long and boring movie, probably. You have to cut some parts, probably. The redundant side quests and the
right, yeah. Yeah, you do need to do a little bit more than just...
I don't know. I've never been very enthusiastic about adaptations of games. I don't know if it works. Maybe I would prefer a movie in the setting of a certain game. For example, Fallout, the Fallout setting or something. That would be cool.
That's a great setting for a game.
Or an Elder Scrolls movie.
Yeah, I don't really feel the need for an Elder Scrolls movie, but
I mean not the game as an adaptation, not Skyrim on screen or something, just more like a spin-off in the setting of the Elder Scrolls. They have these books, right?
Yeah, we have the books actually. We have them.
I haven't read them.
No, I haven't
Are
either.
they any good?
I haven't read them, but we own them, so we can always read them. But my answer would be actually Knights of the Old Republic. Finally, a Star Wars movie I can look forward to again. Dave Filoni could direct it, but yeah. Or Mass Effect with the guy from Lost. He should play Shepard.
Oh right, yeah. Weren't they planning to do that?
Yeah, but it never happened. It never materialized. Okay, your turn.
What's your favorite main character in terms of if you had to pick a main character to be your absolute best friend, who would you pick?
It has to be a main character, not a side character, right?
That's what I said, main character.
So really the protagonist.
Yeah, a protagonist.
And he would be my best friend.
Yeah, for life. BFFL.
Be my BFFL. This is a tough one. Okay, I'm going to say Ludlov.
Really?
Because I know the guy.
Yeah,
I know him pretty well.
Basically you. That would
I wouldn't say that. He's much cooler than I am. But
I thought you would say the BFG or something.
the BFG. The BFG. I think this is really tough. If I could say side character, I'd say Sam Gamgee. But if it has to be like the protagonist,
Yeah, a main character.
oh man, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
Well, I would say Katniss Everdeen.
Okay.
I wouldn't have a pint with Jennifer Lawrence, but I would have a pint with Katniss Everdeen any time. If she doesn't cry too much all the time.
Okay. Okay. What do you prefer? A normal book, an audiobook, or an ebook?
Do you want my complete and honest answer?
Yes.
Then I would say I prefer a book. I would like an audiobook if it's from Audio Epics.
Okay, sure.
Or from Graphic Audio has a couple of great ones, but I'm very picky on audiobooks. I think the problem is usually, especially with audiobooks that are not audio dramas, is that you have this one narrator, and if the guy is boring, or the woman is boring, then you're stuck with the same voice for hours, and I can't handle that.
I get that. I really do, yeah.
And I'm very picky on voices, so I like the approach of having multiple voices, and the problem with audio drama is that you miss a lot of the atmosphere because there's no narrator. So I guess I would only listen to graphic audio projects and our own. But other than that, I would actually prefer just reading a good book.
And what about ebooks?
I would prefer ebooks because they're less dusty and they don't take a lot of room, and we really need to declutter, so that's one reason. But when it comes to the total experience of reading a book, I love turning pages.
Yeah, me too.
And I have a Kindle and I absolutely love it, but it's just...
I kind of see ebooks as a necessary evil, almost.
I seem to touch that thing in places where it doesn't want to be touched all the time.
You could get arrested for that.
Yeah. Well, and then it goes back to the menu and I have to look for my page again. And you don't get that with books. You just have a good bookmark. And
yeah, I prefer just ye old ordinary books also as well. But yeah, we don't have enough room for them.
Actually, the half of our bedroom is covered in books right now, and I would really like to get rid of them. But since we're in lockdown,
I've got an Audible subscription. I do listen to a lot of audiobooks now, and it's a good way to actually get to consume more books because you can listen when you're underway, etc. And there are certain advantages, I think, to audiobooks. If you have a good narrator, he or she can really bring characters to life and bring a sort of soulfulness to it.
If you have the books, the How to Train Your Dragon series.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're middle grade and narrated by David Tennant. He's really, really great. He really makes those books much better than they are, and they're already really good. But he can do 50 characters or something. He's really talented. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So I do really like audiobooks, but there's something about an ordinary book and the smell and the paper and there's something more laid back about it, and you can sort of skip back and forth, and if you can see a name in print, it's easier to remember than when you only hear it.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Although, sometimes when you read a book, you discover afterwards by hearing a review on YouTube that you've actually pronounced the name differently in your head, and that's kind of a bummer too. So
no, yeah, you're right about that.
I think they all have advantages.
They do complement each other, yeah. Okay.
We have them all, right? We have regular books. We have
we
have audiobooks
and we have ebooks.
And we have ebooks, so
we can compare.
Which side character
Sam Gamgee
is most like you?
Oh, not Sam Gamgee. No, I wish I could say that, but no. A side character who is most like me.
That you feel related to, because...
Oh, I'm sure I've felt this way hundreds of times, but I can't think of one right now. You know what? You know that feeling?
Yeah.
That I think, oh yeah, that movie or that, yeah, that was me, definitely.
Watson or maybe Wilson.
Wilson, the volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was that. He was so much like me. Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yeah.
The correct answer is Jar Jar Binks.
Why didn't I think of that?
Okay.
It's perfect. I can't really think of a side character that I that has a similar personality or something, but that I feel really related to. That would be Faramir, I think.
Right. Yeah, because your parents try to burn you as well.
Only once a year.
Okay. My next question is, how would you have done the Star Wars sequel trilogy?
I wouldn't have done them, and they would have been perfect.
Yeah, I guess they would have been perfect then.
No, really. I wasn't looking forward to a sequel or something. It was great. You had the prequels and you had the original trilogy, and if you really have to have 3 other movies, I think I would have worked with the offspring of Leia and Luke, and I would have moved on from the political situation as it was then. Maybe insert a new threat.
It would have been a good title. A New Threat.
Yeah. A new threat, yeah.
I would have set it much farther into the future, so that it has almost no connection anymore to the original saga. This may sound strange, but that's what I would have done. Just something completely different in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, it's like what you're doing with the sequel to Witch Hunter now, putting it in a time where Ludlov is actually dead and there's no Witch Hunter. So we just give it the same name, but it's actually about something.
It's actually about
different.
Alcoholism among young people
In the future.
Set in the far future. You're gonna love it.
With talking bananas.
The talking. Don't spoil the talking bananas.
Okay. What's the most scarily accurate dystopian story?
The most scarily accurate dystopian story
that you've heard or seen so far?
Of the ones that I have really read or seen myself, because, I haven't actually read Brave New World, for example. I remember learning about it, but I never actually read the book myself. But I'm going to say The Giver, because The Giver is a movie about
interesting choice.
A society in the future that is seemingly utopian, because it's very harmonious, and they've eliminated everything that sort of evokes strong emotions. They've eliminated all the bad stuff, but they've also eliminated good stuff. And it's an extremely safe place, but it's very soulless and very sterile and very inhuman. And sometimes I worry that that's the direction that a lot of people actually want to take our society, and I'm not in favor of that.
Yeah, good choice. I think I would pick the same one. Maybe, when I was watching Demolition Man a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it's kind of similar in a way.
And I saw this meeting with all these screens turning and not actual people present. I was thinking, hey, this is a Corona meeting.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So maybe we're heading towards Demolition Man. We better put a Sylvester Stallone in the fridge or in the freezer. Just when it comes to that, we'll have a plan B or a good plan.
Okay, you get to travel around the world and stay in hotels everywhere with one fictional character. Who would you pick? Handsome men are not allowed.
Handsome men are not allowed.
So that narrows it down.
I don't know. It's really not fair that I cannot pick any cute guys, because I would pick them for their personality.
Sure.
But, okay, then I would pick, I don't know, Lois Lane or something. I think she'd be fun to hang around with.
Okay.
And she'd have lots of stories to tell, probably.
Right, yeah. And if she's with you, you're definitely going to, encounter something that you're going to have to investigate, and it will turn into a big adventure.
Yeah, I'll see Superman now and then.
So, handsome guys after all.
What's your favorite talking animal in storytelling?
I'm going to say Caesar from the Planet of the Apes trilogy. Does that count?
Yeah, okay. Well,
I know it's not like,
movie.
From a Disney movie or anything.
No, that's fine. Just in the beginning he doesn't talk much, but
because no, you know what? No, I'm going to give a new answer.
Okay.
My favorite talking animal character is Mrs. Brisby.
Mrs. Brisby. Okay.
I love Mrs. Brisby. I've already mentioned this in another episode.
You cannot pick cute mice. Cute female mice.
It's not like I have a thing for her or anything.
No, that's fine. Okay. I would pick maybe Yago from
Oh,
Aladdin.
right. Yeah, he's great. He's funny. Okay. My next question. How would you have done Frozen?
I wouldn't have done it. I would make it a classic story about two sisters that are different, and one taking responsibility, the other just getting away and not taking responsibility for her people because she wants to find out about her powers. So I would keep that, and then...
But you would not have represented that as a good thing.
No, I would have represented it as a bad thing, and she would have encountered many problems, and then she would have to apologize to her sister.
It sounds like an exciting movie.
Maybe she would encounter a nice guy and defrost.
Yeah, she can use some defrosting. Okay.
What's your favorite adventure? It can be from a point-and-click adventure or from a role-playing game. From where?
A favorite quest?
Yeah, something like that. Your favorite quest. Can be from your own role-playing experiences or whatever.
I think my favorite quest is the quest line Knights of the Nine from Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I really enjoyed it. I loved becoming a knight. Well, becoming the Divine Crusader by collecting all these pieces of the knight's armor, and then founding your own knightly order. There's a priory, and you can invite other guys, and they become knights. And it just had this great sort of King Arthur feel to it, mixed with some Indiana Jones adventure spelunking stuff. That was a great quest line. I really enjoyed that. And as for tabletop role-playing games, one that I remember very fondly was the Thousand Thrones campaign for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, which is one that we did a long time ago. And it was all about this mysterious child who had enormous charisma, and people started following him. And then bad guys kidnapped him because there was a prophecy about him, and they wanted to use him in some dark ritual, which, is what every Warhammer story is about. And it was just a big epic campaign, and we had lots of fun with that. Back in the days when we, managed to get together every week and play.
Maybe I would pick the Dawnguard quest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a great one, too. My favorite quest in Skyrim.
Yeah, I really like that too. It's really great.
What's your favorite music track from a movie that is not about Middle-earth? Or pick a few.
The finale from The Will of the Woods.
Aha!
It's one of my favorites by Peter van Riet.
It's not really a movie though. But,
okay, if I have to pick a movie... The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe has an awesome battle theme.
Oh, yeah.
The Allspark from Transformers movie.
That was a good track.
I really love that track. Yeah.
Sorry. There are so many.
Yeah, there are so many. I loved In the Island. There are a number of cool tracks as well.
Okay, well, you mentioned a few, so
okay.
I'm happy.
What's your favorite monster from a story?
Oh, wow. My favorite monster. That's a great question. And I'm inclined to say the Balrog.
Okay.
But since I answer something from Lord of the Rings almost every... we know almost every question.
Since you know so much about the Lord of the Rings, is the Balrog really a monster?
Well, I don't know. How would you define a monster? A
scary creature.
A scary creature. It is that. But another answer that I might give is recently we saw the movie Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, and it was about aliens. And I thought the design of those aliens, that was really original and very creepy and was very different from the aliens that you've seen in other movies. And I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah,
it was.
And otherwise I'm gonna say the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. They're monsters too, right? No?
Yeah, then psychopaths are monsters as well.
Yeah, okay.
By that definition, because I would say creature that cannot talk or think.
Or think. Okay, so in that sense, maybe the Balrog is intelligent, so doesn't really count then. In that case, I've got a soft spot for the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. I just think it was a cool monster.
Okay. My favorite monster would be Alien.
Oh yeah. I should have said that. It's a great one.
Yeah, recently
how it has no eyes, that makes it really scary.
Yeah, and the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Recently our oldest son started saying, "I have a mouth in my mouth," and we thought it was so creepy because it made us think about the alien.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he has that.
I don't know why he says it or where it comes from.
He says a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, he's 3 years old. They tend to do that.
Okay, my question is, what's your favorite 2D animated movie? So, traditional animation, no CGI.
The Prince of Egypt.
Well, that's a great one. Yeah, great choice. Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, great music. Absolutely.
Really great music. Yeah. Amazing attention to detail, and that's one of the greatest ever made, I think. Yeah. But my favorite is still gonna be The Secret of Nim, because I have a sort of personal connection to that whole movie. Yeah,
it all depends on whether you're focusing on the visuals or the story. But on the whole, I would say The Prince of Egypt. Although I am really a big fan of the Don Bluth movies as well. I think especially All Dogs Go to Heaven. And Anastasia movie is also really gorgeous.
Right, yeah, okay. Your turn.
What's your favorite creature from outer space in a story?
Alien.
If you cannot pick Alien.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a
Superman
monster per se.
Superman.
Oh, okay.
Or E.T. Maybe E.T. E.T.
Superman is
cute.
not really a creature. He's too...
E.T. is cute. I love E.T.
Okay. E.T. it is. Then I'll have to pick something else. Just because.
You don't have to. You can say E.T. too.
I love E.T.
E.T.
Yeah, E.T. is awesome.
Okay, then I'll go to the next question. Favorite 80s fantasy movie? So from the 80s.
The Dark Crystal.
Ah, that's the correct answer. That is the correct answer. So you win.
Yeah. What did I win?
You win the internet.
Yes. What's your favorite contemporary author?
Contemporary, hey? So does that mean still alive or still writing?
I would say still writing. Yeah.
I think... I don't know if... I think I'm going to say Raymond Feist. Even though, of course, his series his Rift War series is finished. He wrote about 30 books in that, and I've only read 3, but I love them, and I do intend to read the rest. I also love Brandon Sanderson's books, but I have to say, while Sanderson has, a much more, I don't know, it's much more depth, and it's much bigger in scale, and it's more. In the end, Feist I just find more enjoyable, I think. So I'm going to say Feist.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with Stephen King.
Oh,
or
of
Brandon
course.
Sanderson. Yes, I think in the end it's still gonna be Stephen King.
Right, yeah. He has some good stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't like all his books, but as a writer, I like his style. It's really...
Should there be a Middle-earth theme park, or is that too kitschy?
There should definitely be several Middle-earth theme parks.
Several. Okay.
Where you can ride on an orc and stuff.
Ride on an orc?
I would line up for that.
Ride on a warg, okay, but ride on an orc? I don't want to do that.
No? I've always wanted to do that. Oh, and fly on an eagle, of course.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's a cool idea.
And an olifant, or what is it? What have you?
Okay. So, I don't know. It seems, it feels to me a bit disrespectful somehow, the idea of a Middle-earth theme park. But
to have all rides. It's all about having a ride on something. You can ride on Galadriel and Gandalf and Faramir and Aragorn.
I don't know how you actually see these rides.
You can sit in their necks.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's more like a petting zoo that you have in mind.
The Middle-earth petting zoo.
It would be pretty cool if you're in the Middle-earth theme park and you can go have a bite to eat at the Green Dragon.
Yeah,
or the Prancing Pony.
Things like that, yeah. And you would have these hobbit-sized stuff that if I would sit down on a chair, I would break it and stuff.
But I don't know, I think Professor Tolkien would shake his head and
but he's not
have
around.
a big face palm.
He's not around.
I don't know. Maybe he can see it from on high and he will cast down vengeance.
We'll make it respectful, Professor Tolkien. So none of the things I've just mentioned, perhaps.
Okay, next question.
What's your favorite robot character?
My favorite robot character?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There was a character in the movie Aliens, and his name was Bishop. And he was a robot, turned out. And I thought that character really worked, especially because in the first movie, there was a robot character and he was a bad guy. And in the second movie, Ripley is distrustful of this Bishop character because he's a robot. But then it turns out he's a good guy. So I like that. Or Nick Valentine.
Isn't he an android or a cyborg? Or
yeah.
You geeks
for me,
out there, do you know the difference?
For me, that's all robots.
Okay.
I'm simple that way.
Okay. I'll rephrase my question. Robot character means a robot that doesn't look human.
Oh, okay. Bender?
Really?
No. Calculon. Calculon was also a character in Futurama, and he was an acting robot. Yeah, and he played in a robot soap opera called All My Circuits, and there was an episode where he said that he was the greatest robot actor since David Duchovny. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. I think my favorite robot character would be, besides Wall-E, of course, he's so charming. I would pick C-3PO, I think.
Really? C-3PO? Okay.
He's so nice and decent and British.
Really? I think he's incredibly rude to R2-D2.
And gold.
That's true, he's gold. Is there any movie in the making currently that you're still looking forward to?
No.
Well, that was quick.
Not really. It's just sequels and remakes, and so not really.
Well, they're doing a very faithful adaptation of Dune right now that's in the making. I am really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that would be something to look forward to. Because the former adaptations were... I really loved the book, and they didn't come close.
Okay, your turn.
What's the most pointless character in the story?
Chewbacca. I've already mentioned this before.
That was quick.
I think Chewbacca is a completely pointless character.
That was quick. Okay. Yeah. I would say the stupid snowman from Frozen.
The stupid snowman.
What's his name? Olaf?
Yeah, Olaf. Yeah, right.
Yeah. He was not just stupid. He was completely pointless and not funny. And his head was too long.
His head was too long. Okay.
Have you ever seen a snowman like that? That's not a pretty snowman.
No, you're right. You're right. Maybe it was just an untalented kid that made the snowman.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a game you're looking forward to?
Well, of course, I'm looking forward to The Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, makes sense.
As for other games, no.
Well, I'm also looking forward to Starfield, which is Bethesda's outer space open world RPG that they're making.
Not much is known about that for now, right?
No, but it's the next one that's gonna come out.
But it is a very cool idea. I mean, Bethesda making an outer space game. And
I'm just curious, how are they going to do it? If you're going to visit several planets, how big are they going to be, and how free will you be to explore them? And I'm curious.
I'm really curious too, but I don't really want to look forward to new Bethesda games because I'm not gonna have time to play them anyway.
Well, you can always not sleep. You don't sleep now anyway. Now. Okay.
What's your favorite dog from a story?
Oh, there was a movie with Richard Gere. Was it Hachi?
You mean the tearjerker?
Yeah, that was probably... Okay, earlier on you asked which movie made you cry. That movie also made me cry, or almost cry, or at least made me feel like I was crying.
So The Passion of the Christ and Hachi.
The story of a dog, yeah. No, exactly. No, you know why? That dog, he was so faithful. Oh, man. That movie, that dog.
Right, it was the movie about a dog who was faithful to his human. And one day he died, right? And he never
the guy died.
He never returned from work or something, and he kept waiting.
The dog kept waiting for his guy, but he never came back. But the dog kept waiting there for the rest of his life. And it was based on a true story, man. That really got me.
That was a sob
Makes
story.
me feel sad just thinking about that movie.
Poor dog.
Yeah, that was... And, you know, it was such a simple story, but it was so emotionally strong. So I'm going to say that one.
Yeah, I think I would pick Charlie from All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Okay, fair enough. Why?
He's this bad guy. He's like the Flynn Rider of dogs. He's this criminal who gets to know a girl and it touches him and he kind of becomes a good guy.
That movie is so full of nightmare fuel, by the way. It's you know, like a lot of Don Bluth stuff, there's a wonderful sort of childlike, innocent darkness in it. It's hard to explain, but it's really powerful. Okay, I have one last question and then I'm done. Mm-hmm. You get to write the new Superman movie, a reboot. Uh-huh. What's it about?
Another reboot.
Yeah. Because I think Superman is a really hard character to write a good story for.
But why are you asking me all the hard questions? Maybe about Superman's first flying lesson.
Okay, so an origin story, sort of.
Yeah, when he gets flying lessons from a bird or something.
From a bird, okay.
No, maybe a movie where he goes back to his roots, where he goes to investigate more about Krypton and
Wow, that's a
about
cool
the
idea.
Fortress of Solitude, and maybe see more of that. Less Daily Planet, more Krypton.
Wow, yeah, that might be a really good idea, yeah. And who would the villain be? Or you could come up with a new one.
Lex Luthor?
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's the most obvious villain. I think he's the coolest villain from the Superman series. Yeah. You can make it a really round character.
Yeah, especially with a bald head.
Yeah, bowling ball.
Okay, no, good concept, good idea. You're very good at coming up with ideas. Do you have another question?
Yeah, my last question is a very straightforward one. What's your favorite actor?
Tommy Wiseau. No, not really.
No comment.
I'm gonna go with maybe Anthony Hopkins or Mel Gibson or Jeremy Irons. I don't know. I always enjoy watching Jeremy Irons.
It's a hard question, isn't it?
Yeah.
So many
Of course, Gary Oldman. He's also great. It's hard. There are so many.
I like Liam Neeson.
Right. Yeah.
But if they can be cute guys, I would say Kyle MacLachlan or David Duchovny, but that's probably because of the characters they played. So it's hard not to be biased by the characters the actors played.
No, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
I really loved Twin Peaks and the X-Files. So, and maybe who would you pick to play Ludlov?
I thought about that a lot. I don't really have an answer yet. But it would have to be a tall guy and a rather thin guy.
So not Danny DeVito.
Not Danny DeVito. You know, but by the way, I want to revisit a question you asked earlier. You asked your favorite robot character.
Yeah.
I'm going to say not C3PO. I'm going to say Optimus Prime.
Oh, Optimus Prime. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. But that's not a robot, that's an Autobot.
Come on. Okay. I think we're done for the moment. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. But I'm sure you can come up with a lot of better questions. So you know what? We can make another of these episodes if you like this during the lockdown. And if you send us our questions in the comment section, then we can just list them up and answer them next time. Yeah.
We should, of course, get enough questions. If we only get 2 or 3, then...
It will be a very short episode.
Yeah, okay. Sure, why not? We'll see how many responses we get. But it would be great if we could do another one. So I had a lot of fun doing this episode. How about you?
Yeah, it was really fun.
So we hope we get to talk to you guys again soon. And
possibly answer some questions.
Yeah,
of yours.
That would be great. We'll see how it goes. We hope you're all doing fine, and we'll talk to you again soon. All the best.
Bye-bye.